So I want to talk about sacredness mixed with silliness. For a while now I've been following my spiritual path and I've denied the silliness for a long time. Excuse me, I might just slip into my silly, very bad Australian accent. If any of you watch Kath and Kim, it's kind of from that, just taking the mic. That's a bit of the silliness coming out. I always did do accents when I was little. But for a long time I've denied the silliness, almost like saying, no, that part's not okay, that part doesn't belong on my sacred path, that part is childish, that part is silly, that part is, just denied it, and that's not cool. So I've been embracing the silliness recently with a little help from my friends. I've got a 6-year-old daughter and she loves the silliness, so we get into that a lot. And yeah, it just dawned on me, actually sacredness and silliness go hand in hand. I think there's a place in both. I was holding a women's circle about a month ago, and I was on a really silly form. I was with a good friend of mine who brings out my inner child. Ever since I first met her, I just literally slip into my inner child when I'm around her, and it's a gorgeous feeling. It's really lovely. And I held the circle in that space. I think I even said, excuse me, the Australian accent might come out. And it was the best circle I've held because there was a space for the silliness. And that is a huge part of who I am. Silliness is probably quite a judgment. I guess other words could be fun, young at heart, inner child. You know, however you label these things, they're all a part of you. They're all perhaps identities that you formed. I do remember in school, I used to love making people laugh. I almost remember, I think I was about 8 or 9. And I remember telling someone a joke and they really laughed. And I thought, God, that feels really good. That feels really good to make someone laugh. And actually for a long time, I was almost silly to the point of making people laugh and perhaps not having the tools and the knowledge of how to deal with pain and seriousness in my life. And the last few years I've been dealing with that, processing through the pain, and now I'm not so deep in the processing, perhaps because I have an 8-month-old baby and a 6-year-old daughter and big projects coming up, so there's not a huge amount of space for processing. It's more, as things come up, I gently process now, just sort of go, oh, why am I feeling like that? What's this here to teach me? And that's sort of as far as it goes. Whereas before I was like, right, I'm gonna get into this, really serious, oh my God, all this past pain, poor me, and then come through it the other side. But now it's, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun bringing in the fun, as obvious as that sounds. Anyway, that's just basically my message. I wanted to share with you that love everything, every part of who you are. Welcome it all. The childishness, the silliness, whatever you label it, because the more you deny it, the less you are being yourself. So yeah, give yourself permission to be silly today. And sacred, if you want to. I mean, I have a candle lit here, and some incense, and a few of my little relics. But yeah, there's always space for the silliness. And trust me, if you have kids, they'll love it. They will love it. And adults too, you know, we've got a bit serious. Adults seem, it's almost like, no, now life is serious. It's also serious. But yeah, bring in the silliness. And that's everything I have to say. That's what I wanted to share. Thanks. Bye.